Think about it. There must be a higher love down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is a wasted time. Look inside your heart and look inside. We walk the line and try to see what it could be. Facing our fears, standing out there alone. And it's real to me. There must be someone scared for me. Things look so bad everywhere. In this line, and try to see what could be. Oh, it's the strangest feeling, feel this way for you. Something the way you move, something the way you move. With your melody, it's all you do. Something the way you move, don't know what it is you do. Wanting it, doing it for me. This heart is open, buzzing on see. I can only see the end. Tonight, here, yours again. But tonight, playing me far, was the first to fall. I see it, baby, keep me what you waiting for. Something the way you move, something the way you do it, something the way you move, something the way you move, something the way you do it, something the way you move. Playing with fire, I was the first of all. Heart is sinking like a cat. Baby, keep it, what you waiting for? Something we can do, 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 something we can do. Okay. Yes. The whisper, wishful sign, told the whisper of the mind. What did she think she could do? Feel for her. I really do. So I said that, the ring finger on the hand. I wanted her to be a big DM Storm fan, but I'll never put her right back. But that's the way it goes. I guess. Baby,
Hi, everybody. How are you? We are here, and I have been here since 8:30, and I forgot to start at 9. I was really excited, and I was reading my notes, and I just looked up and I saw somebody saying, "Has the event started?" And I was about to write and say, "We don't start till 9." And then I looked up and I was like, "Oh, it is 9:04." So, good morning and welcome. You should be able to hear me and see me now. If you are watching us for the very first time and you're on our website, there is a button you can hover over where you're watching, and there is a the YouTube logo. If you want to comment in the chat, you would just hit the YouTube logo. It will shoot you over to YouTube where you can watch this event. You won't miss anything. It'll take you straight to where we are up to now, so it won't start from scratch. And then what we'll do is you'll be able to chat there. But if you just want to sit here on our website page and watch it, that is not a problem either. So it's really nice to see you all here. It's good to see people that I know. My goodness. I see Rebecca. I see Laurie. And don't worry if I don't call out your name. Karen. I see Erin. I see Miss Katie. I see Mary. So this is really great. It's good to see everybody here. Excuse my non-studio today. As many of you know, I always go live in my studio at home where I do news and morning shows from. And as you can see, we are streaming today from the Residence Inn, where my little family is living for a month. If you've ever wondered if your family could survive something that post-apocalyptic, small space together, you should go and stay in a Residence Inn for a month. But I have to tell you, we're really grateful because we're in between houses and we moved out of our house. We sold our home and we've built a new one. I know you've probably heard that from me before, but it's what we do. We build and sell and build and sell. It's one of the things that I always wanted was to not have just one revenue stream in my life. And so in addition to our company and in addition to both our TV careers, we do that. And so we're in a Residence Inn. And as you can see, I told everybody to pick up their stuff this morning. One person did not pick up their stuff. I was yelling at everybody, Mama has a live, Mama has a training. And Nahi, the bear, did not make it out. So it's all good. I decided to leave Nahi there and I took a screenshot and I'm going to show that to Houston later today and say, look, this is what happens when you leave your stuff laying around. Let me know in the chat if you joined us on the webinar Wednesday, if you still have to watch the replay, or if yeah, they're really the only two options. You don't actually need to watch the replay for my section because I am going to cover, again, the same topic and then more. I have to tell you, I have for you today, let me see if I can bring it up on my iPad. I have my iPad open with my team here, but I actually prepared for you at 2 a.m. this morning, which I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because I felt like you needed it and I felt like you should get it. I prepared for you a handout today, and it is 23 pages long, which that's something we usually do for our paid programs, but I don't know. I felt like what I want to do today is to give you the complete everything you need to do. And then you can decide if you want to do it yourself, get help doing it, have us help you. Yes, we have gotten dozens of questions, people sliding into my DMs. You know, I'm not like that. Asking me, will there be an Egypt marketing kit? Because we put out a marketing kit for, I think it was Danube was our first one. And oh my gosh, it was wildly popular. And yes, there is an Egypt marketing kit. Yes, the pre-sale does start today for it. But that's not what this is for. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that that's not what this is for. You're going to get today a 23-page handout. It's actually live on the screen that you're on, or will be in a moment. My team will let me know when it's up. Flora, let me know when both the handouts are, the slide deck for today and the handouts are up, and I can tell everybody there. You don't need to download it because I'm going to put it up on your screen at the end of this training. Then you can go ahead and download it. What you'll leave here today with is it's a frightening checklist because it is a comprehensive checklist. And when we get to that bit of the training, I'll remind you, you don't need to do all of the things. That is not what the list is for. It's like I've listed out everything in the fridge. You don't need to eat it all today. I just gave you a list of what's in your fridge. So I've given you a list of everything in the kit that you would need if you were trying to do a fully comprehensive marketing and promotion and advertising strategy. Like, for those of you who know, for those of you who know, what does that even mean? For those of you who don't know, I have a charter of friends, family, and TV fans. We call it the Friends, Family, and Fans. It's called an Authentic Escapes Experience, and we are chartering the Amalilia for a June 9 sailing. I understand exactly what it feels like now to market and sell groups because we go with our friends, family, and fans. And we are on a financial hook for a charter if we're not able to fill the entire charter. So I totally understand, and I'm in the same boat, no pun intended, as you. I really think that what I've done today is some of my best work ever because I'm going through the experience right now. I don't know if you could imagine this, but on September 1st, I have to sign my charter documentation with the cruise line. I'm doing it with Alma, of course. I love partnering with them. They're the best partners. And we do partner with almost all minus one of the cruise lines. And I chose to do it on Alma because I think it's really the most superior product in Egypt. But imagine now I have my marketing hat on and I'm thinking, How am I going to get the word out? How am I going to hit up all my friends and family? How are we going to reach out to my TV fans, to Anthony's friends and family? How are we going to reach out to our neighbors? What groups can we reach out to? And I have an entire ship to fill and we haven't even started. And I have to sign paperwork on September 1st. So I get exactly the boat that you're in. It can be stressful or it can be exciting. So what I did last night until 2:27 this morning was create a comprehensive checklist of every single possible thing. And this is how I'm approaching it for my charter. I'm looking at it saying, here's all the things that I could possibly do. Here's all the food in the fridge. What am I going to make? What am I going to do? And then what you'll have, we'll also go through my top 5 tips because I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions as well. We'll go through the top 5 tips and then I'll show you the comprehensive list. I also talk about lead generation and places that you can find new leads in it. And then I want to give you a chance to ask questions. I want you to ask a lot of questions today. I want you today to have one scenario in your mind. If you were me, right now. So you say to yourself, if I was Sandra and I had to sign charter documentation to be financially responsible for the ship on September 1st, what would I do between today, July 5th, and September 1st to make sure that every single cabin and suite is booked and me, because I always need a backup plan of a backup plan of a backup plan, that you even have a wait list of like 10 people. Okay, I am going to, yes, Angie, I love what Angie just said here. Angie said, this is so valuable that you're walking the walk. So I'm going to give you everything today, and you are not going to be forced to buy the Egypt marketing kit. We're not going to push it on you, but I do want to set this scenario in your mind for you. I'm going to give you the list of everything you need. You can then go away and create it yourself. Some of you love creating content. I'm never going to take that away from you. Go create the content on there. Go get organized on there. Some of you are going to outsource it because you have a team. Perfect. You go ahead and do that. I recognize someone here who has an agency with 100 advisors. You have your own marketing team. I know that. You have 3 people in marketing. You're going to be able to take this list and do it yourself. For those of you who do end up getting the Egypt kit, and for those of you in the All Access Pass, what we're going to be, no, not All Access Pass, just, no, you know what? We'll do it for the All Access Pass as well. For those of you who are doing the next season of All Access Pass, and or picking up the Egypt marketing kit, I was thinking, and I don't know what you think, if you would find it helpful for me to do a quick Zoom call, maybe every other week. I'm talking like 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, where I give you an update, or I could pre-record it and then I could just post them in a spot. Maybe that's easier. No, I would do it live actually, and then I can post it and it would be like, hi guys, this is what I've done this week. It might be every Friday, for example. This is what I did this week for the charter. And these are the exact steps that I took. I fixed the website because it said this. I then made this phone call. I then sent out this email, and I would show you the behind the scenes of selling an entire charter. Now, this is scary for me because I've never sold an entire charter before. And it's scary because what if I fail? But do you know what? What if I fly? I don't know. Maybe it'll be a disaster. Maybe it'll be amazing. I'm really not sure, but I'm trying. I'm trying, and I want to put it out there because Anthony and I get asked all the time, how do we travel like you guys? How do we do what you guys do? And for the last 6 years, we've just been sending everybody to travel advisors. And then we said, you know what? We're going to do a trip. We're going to do a trip. And we're just doing one this year, for example, in October. We're going on the Danube. Next year, we're doing Korea, and we're also doing Egypt. So I was like, you know what? Let me figure it out. So that would be a live walk. So by September 1st, you will all know the lowdown if I signed my charter contract, if I was able to do it. And you'll know what I did right, what I did wrong, and what I should have changed. So I'm going to jump straight in. You'll be my, oh, I love this. Karen says, so we are your accountability group. That will be good for me. Yeah. And like, I'm not suggesting that everybody runs out and does a charter because it's frightening, but you could partner together. You could group together those of you in my accountability group who are going to hold me accountable. Oh my gosh, I have an accountability group. I've never had that before because I dodged them. I don't like being accountable to people. You might decide to partner up together and say, you know what, we're going to do, there's 36 cabins on the ship. We're going to do 6 of us and we're going to sell 5 cabins each. And that is a charter or something like that. Or you might just decide, I'm going to do a group, or I'm going to follow along and I'm just going to sell as many cabins as I can, or my goal is going to be able to sell 5 so I can do an upfront, something like that. Okay, a few people, let me get some feedback here. Cheryl said that would be awesome. That would be so helpful for us. Anita said, yes, that would be helpful. Awesome, great. Erin says, I have no doubt you will fly. Oh my gosh, what if I fail? I don't know. I feel like you don't fail, you just learn. I pre-sell my trips like this by traveling at first. I have the landing page registration materials already prepared for my hosted trip that is set 9 to 12 months after the trip I'm on. Yeah, Sandra, this is like the most incredible way to do it. And for those of you who are wondering, like, did Amma send me out there? I paid. $15,000 came out of my bank account, and it was the most frightening thing because we were building the house, and I looked at Anthony and I said, what if we fail? And he said, what if you fly? You always fly. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this on you if it doesn't work out. But yeah, I have my landing page ready, and then you promote it with links while you're on that trip. I wanted to experience the trip first. I do a marketing strategy that includes specific joint ventures. I do 1 or 2 lead magnets, market it. Yep. So this is all included in today's kit. So let's jump in. I'm going to share with you the slides from Wednesday, because there are way more people on here than there were who registered on Wednesday, and there are a lot of people watching the replay. I want you to ask questions about this. I really do want you to ask questions. If you don't know where to type, on your screen that you're watching, there's a YouTube button in there. You can click on YouTube and it will send you over. It's not a public YouTube, so don't worry, your clients are not going to see it. It's a private video that we have. It just where I'm streaming on YouTube right now, so it feeds through to my page. It's just a little bit easier. Okay, so we're going to jump straight into these slides, and I'm going to go through them, and then I'm going to check back at the end to answer your questions. Okay, so we're going to cover off the 5 marketing tips that I discovered while I did the Egypt and the Nile on Soulful Journeys with Amma Waterways. And this is good for selling Egypt and the Nile with Amma, period. It's not about the Soulful Journeys, but of course I did a Soulful Journey. And if it coincides with your client's dates and season, the comfort versus the crowds, then I would absolutely recommend doing a Soulful. And then we'll look at the further ways that you can market and sell. So the first thing that I covered was choose your season carefully. I'm missing the fully. Choose it with care, carefully. Okay. The season is absolutely critical. This is like no other decision that your clients will have to make when it comes to traveling. And the reason being that the temperature differences are so extreme. So when you visit Egypt in the winter months, you can have days that are in the 70s. When you visit in the summer months, you can have days that are 115, 118. That is a huge difference. It's not humid, it's dry, but you have to understand that your client needs to tell you, and you have to present to them the difference between the seasons, and that you're either choosing comfort or the crowds, and you get to make that choice and control what's more important to you. Trust me, you immediately look the expert the minute that you pull this out the door, and the minute that you pull this question out of your deck, because straight away you're helping them to make the most important decision, because it is the decision that will impact every single thing that they do in Egypt. So comfort means seasons with manageable temperatures. But get this, the word manageable is very much determined by your client. I live in the part of Southern California where in the summertime, we're like a vegetation 9 zone, which means almost desert. And because we moved out of the city. Quick story, Los Angeles, when we have our weather report, the forecast for the next day takes 5 to 6 minutes for every weather meteorologist, because we have 5 different weather zones. We have the mountains, we have the desert, we have the beaches, we have the valley, and then we have the city. I think that those are all 5. So those are the 5 different areas that we have. And today, for example, it's going to be 103, I think, here in the valley and Inland Empire, and down in the beaches, which is literally 40 minutes away, it's going to be 77. So that's a huge difference. So for me, Egypt was extremely fine during the summer months. When we went out there, we had a day of 113. That's fine. Last summer, we had a day of 115 here. I'm totally used to it. People from Arizona, people from Nevada, some guests saw me in, not guests, some people that watch me on television, know me from television, saw me in Corner Bakery on the weekend. They saw my computer, that I had my landing page up because I was working. We were doing a brunch and I was fixing something on the landing page. And they said, "Oh my gosh, you're the travel girl on TV. Do you have something there that we should know about? We're going on Ammer Waterways this week, and we're going on the Rhine from Amsterdam to Basel." And we started this big chat. There are now 4 to 6 of them wanting to come to Egypt with us. I said to them, "Hey, just so you know, we're going June 9th. It's going to be a really, really, really hot time of year. These are the temps." And they're like, "Yeah, but we're from here." So it was easy for them. Now, I want to show you the next screen. This is the difference. So on the left-hand side, this picture is an October picture. And on the right-hand side, this is a June picture. Huge difference. But it's not up to you as a travel advisor to even sway people. It's up to you to help your clients to make the right decision there. Of course, the shoulder seasons provide a really good balance. And I have to say that if you have travelers who want to go right now, the sailings are so low. Like when we were out there, there was some sailings, like the ones after us had 8 people, 8 cabins, 12 cabins, 6 cabins. There was one with 6 cabins only, the cruise manager was telling us. And that's because people have a fear that they haven't resolved around going during the conflict in Egypt. The war in Egypt. And so I'll talk about that a little bit later, but I couldn't tell you how far away it felt and how far away it actually was. So if you have people who want to go this summer or this fall, incredible opportunity to go, because on the right-hand side, this is Abu Simbel down by the Sudanese border in the Nubian desert. It's the optional, it's one of the 2 optional shore excursions. This one here, what the picture on the right was exactly the experience that I got. So let me know in the chat, do you have any questions about helping your clients to make that decision? What else? People just sharing their experience. I definitely would say that even saying I went in this time and it was fine, you don't want to do that. You want to say, this is a choice. This is our first choice that you need to make. And I want to help you to make it by giving you all of the information. Okay. So let's move on. All right. You need to find a way to make Egypt about being next on the bucket list, not one of the last trips they do, because Egypt requires a minimal level of mobility to access the sites. This here, for example, this is the Sphinx, as you know. The 3 Great Pyramids are in the background. That's the biggest of the 3. Down in the very back, you can see by my hip over here, you can see, and I love that the gates are done in the same color so that they're not intrusive. You can see the gate down here. This is the gate that actually the next one was open on the other side, that allowed us to walk down in this area behind the wall on the Sphinx and then come up onto the walkway where you could actually get those shots of like being super close. This area here is, you have to walk down it, and it gets a little steep when you get down the bottom, and you're walking up hills and you're out all day, and you don't have to be fit, but you cannot have a wheelchair, you cannot have a scooter. It is you cannot be in crutches. Like you could take a stick, that's not a problem. There were definitely a couple of people with sticks, and I would say, like my dad, hopefully I can get my parents on this cruise. There's 1 cabin sold. Hopefully, like my dad, for example, had a double hip replacement. He's in his 70s. And I just said to him, Dad, just bring like your walking stick. Like he doesn't walk with one, but he has one for when he travels, just to give him that extra support. But that is the most that you want to do. So you want to make sure that people understand this should be next on the bucket list. If you've ever had issues with your feet, your ankles, your hips, your shoulders, your back, then pull this forward on your bucket list. I've had sciatica years. It goes on and off. It's mostly off thanks to acupuncture, but I don't ever want to have back problems and struggle. Anthony has to have a knee surgery later this year. We're so glad that we did Egypt already. We met 6 travelers, and it was great. They were white travelers on the Soulful Experience, which just goes to show it is for everybody. They told us the same thing. They were in their 70s. They're like, our only regret on this trip is that we wish we'd have done this 10 years ago, even 15 years ago, because it just would have been a little bit easier on us. So find that way to bring it closer on the bucket list. The other way that you want to do it, if you don't want to kind of go down that track, is that you can say to people, the best time to visit Egypt is always as soon as possible, because the more visitors, the less chance it's going to look the same in 10 to 20 years. Right now, you can hieroglyphic if you were silly enough to. You can walk right up to it and you can see the paint pigment. You can see the paint pigment in the limestone. Like it's right there in front of you. in 10 to 20 years, 10 years time, I call it now, there will be fences up everywhere. There will be fences, there will be glass, there'll be all kinds of things. I imagine a bunch of the Valley of the King's tombs will be closed because that's what people do. People go in and they touch things that they shouldn't touch. So now is definitely the time. I cannot stress to you enough the amount of product knowledge that you have to have for this itinerary. The good thing is that you only need to have it once. Once you've learned it, you've learned it. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is the one of the only destinations in the world where you do need to learn some history and you need to know the geography. You cannot fly by the seat of your pants only knowing the itinerary. You have to understand, because here's a good example. If you think that Upper Egypt is the north of Egypt and Lower Egypt is the southern part of Egypt, already you look like a dummy in front of your audience, because guaranteed there will be someone in your audience, someone who sees your content, sees your marketing, that's like, no, it's all about the direction Nile flows in. Upper Egypt is in the south and Lower Egypt is in the north. It's the direction that the river flows in. Those kinds of things are just going to make you look silly, and nobody wants to trust somebody that doesn't know basic facts. If you're telling people, which I have heard a travel advisor say, but I didn't correct them because I didn't know, because I hadn't looked at the itinerary, they were telling me when you join the ship from Cairo, you'll jump on a bus. The buses take you everywhere. She said the buses take you everywhere. They'll even take you from your hotel in Cairo after your 3 days to the ship. The bus not taking anybody to the ship. The bus is taking you to the airport where you get on a flight from Cairo to Luxor, and you all travel on the same flight together. I've heard another travel advisor say, why don't you arrive in 2 days earlier, and on the day that you fly down to Luxor, I can get you a flight later in the afternoon so you can have more time in Cairo. That's not an option. That's not an option. That's not how it works. Everybody gets on the same plane. Everybody goes to the airport at the same time. Like when I tell you that your cruise manager and Egyptologist literally tell you what line to stand in at the airport, it's like a school trip where they stand there, they help you check in, they help you with your luggage, they help you, like you go to the gate together, you get on the plane together, you get off the plane together. It really is like a field trip. So you have to know your basic history. I am going to include in the Egypt marketing kit an infographic for your learning, and we will try and get an infographic done as well for you to share with your clients. It's a little trickier because we need to get an artist to actually design it. We can't resell someone's existing one, but I will definitely give you one for your own learning, which will help you a lot. And that just shows you where everything is in the country, but also all of the different dynasties and how they were impacted. Like I didn't know until I went to Egypt that Islam didn't start in Egypt until the 7th century. Like that's mind-blowing to me when you start learning about all the different colors of people, races of people, and religions. I didn't know that Muslim, Christian, and Jewish people all live together extremely happily, and that Egyptian law is not based on any of those three laws. It is the law, and then there's religions. And our tour guide was saying, if I'm going to go to a doctor, I'm Muslim, but I'm going to a Christian doctor. And when my friends celebrate Ramadan, I'm there. But when my friends celebrate Christmas, we go to Christmas events. We go to Hanukkah. We Rosh Hashanah was happened, and we were all there with our Jewish friends. I thought that was really interesting. You need to have that understanding. The itinerary, of course, you need to know that inside out. Things like river levels are not such a big deal in Egypt, but you could make the most basic mistake of telling people, yeah, you can pick and choose what you want to do every day. You can get off the ship, you can go on tour, you can explore on your own. You can't explore on your own at all, anywhere during this itinerary. That's a good thing. That's a good thing because you would waste a lot of time and you wouldn't see what you're there to see, but you have to know these things. The cuisine, I'm a non-red meat eater, and so people need to know what the Egyptian cuisine is like. If you do not eat meat, if you do not eat fish, if you're a vegan, it's a little bit tougher. It's not impossible because there's a lot of beans and things, but you've got to understand the soulful experience, knowing the difference, and of course, knowing the difference between what Amma offers and others. When it comes to Egypt being safe, you have to be able to answer this accurately, legally responsible, from a perspective that's legally responsible, and also in a very encouraging way. To do that, I recommend that you read up on the security protocols that the government put in place after the 2011 uprising. And if you have not been for yourself, if you haven't been to Egypt, refer to personal experiences of clients that you've sold or of me. You can say, I know Sandra McLemore. She's a travel TV host. She's a senior travel contributor on the network news. I have direct access to her, and I have literally sat on a Zoom call, on a webinar with her where she shared her own experience. I can reach out to her. I can ask questions. You can reach out. Yes, you could say you can reach out to the cruise line, but it's always good to reach out to someone who is not of the cruise line, and to draw from that personal experience as well, because your clients will understand that it's not coming from a space of sales, it's coming from a space of being connected. Be very clear on what the regional differences are in Egypt according to the State Department. So Egypt is a reconsider travel. It's almost always a reconsider travel, but there are regions of Egypt right up near the Israeli border that are nowhere near, like literally nowhere near where you are going. I'm actually going to look up for the marketing kit. I didn't have a chance to do it yet, and we're putting together the contents today. But I want to look up the distance between where the war is and where you are, and then make an analogy in Europe, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be something like Ukraine is not going to stop you going to this place, or this place. It does make you aware. It makes you prepare a certain way. Make sure you have your travel insurance in place like you usually would, but it hasn't changed tourism to these other countries. So I'll do something like that. And then you should know what travel insurance covers. I took out for each, and I didn't say this on the webinar Wednesday, but I'll bring it up now. I took out my regular travel insurance through Allianz, and then I also took out something called MedJet, MEDJET. MedJet is the equivalent. They offer an extraction service. And I know this sounds super hyper and extra, but they offer an extraction service that even includes acts of terrorism and acts of war, so that if anything bad was to happen, they will literally send in jets and pick you up. You don't have to wait for a public or government or commercial airline coordinated exit plan. They will just come in and get you. And I think I paid maybe $600 for both of us for 14 days, but it felt really good knowing that that was there, and I had that layer. It also will just, if you want them to pick you out because you're sick or you need medical treatment, they'll come and get you and bring you back to the hospital, whereas insurance works a little bit differently. Of course, it includes Medivac if you've got the right medical insurance, but this is just another layer. So definitely look into that for your clients. And I believe that they pay commission because I'm set up as an affiliate for them for my groups. Okay, number 5. This was probably the biggest takeaway for most of you that I read in the Alma Waterways Facebook forum, and I'm so glad. You need to have a dedicated space and strategy to market Egypt and the Nile. It is absolutely critical. It is not like any other destination. A few social posts and a few blogs is not enough for your destination. This destination, you need to have a full landing page. You need to have an FAQ. You need to have image galleries. You need to have maps. You need to have full details on where people are going, the regions, everything. For the marketing kit, we're giving you all of the list of everything to put on this page. If you have done website in a weekend with us, or we did your website, this is huge. We're actually going to pick up my page for the charter, and we're going to place it on your website with your colors and your fonts. We can't do it on a non-Wix website, and we won't do it on a Wix website that we didn't create, because I don't know what you're behind, how your site is built from SEO perspective or pages are laid out. So it really is just special for our website in a weekend clients and our VIP website experience clients, that if you want to, you can literally, it's an add-on to the marketing kit, but it's like $200. You could pick up our page, my page for Egypt, and just place it down on yours. So it's all the copy, the image gallery, the everything. But you need to create a page on your website where you can have lead magnets on it, content on it. It is a lot of work to set this up, but I will tell you, the commission is worth the effort and investment that you need to put in. Has anyone done the math on how much money that you can make in Egypt? Say, for example, you were earning, let's just say 15%. I'm going to do 20 just because my math is not that good. Say, for example, you were earning 20%. The average price, for example, for Egypt, say, for example, is $6,500. $6,500 minus 20% is 20% of 6,500 is $1,300 just on the actual cruise itself. Just on the cruise itself. This is before your travel insurance, before your MedJet, before your international flights, before your extra pre and post, before they add on Jordan if they're doing that, or Dubai if they're doing that. Multiply that by 2 for a couple, and you have 6,500. I hit something wrong. Multiply that by 2 people, that's $2,600 of commission just in one booking. One booking. Have 10 cabins going as part of a huge group, and you've made $26,000 from one group of 10 cabins. That's pretty amazing. And that's not including factoring in your TO cabin or however AMA want to do that with you. I'm not sure how they do that. So when you think about all of the marketing that you're going to have to do and the stuff you'll have to set up, you only have to set it up one time. You only have to create it one time. Yeah, you'll do little edits to it. But if you are promoting and advertising, which we're going to talk about in a minute, this is going to pay off very quickly. In fact, for most of you, one couple traveling out there will will definitely cover the amount that you will spend setting up your marketing, your content, and everything there, plus a bunch of ad campaigns. I, for example, know from my setup that I'm doing, with the exception of my trip out there, because of course I need to sell enough cabins in order to make back the cost of my trip. That's critical. That's $15,000 right there. But I know that I know that it's only going to take me 2 cabins I'm going to put into marketing. Just 2. 2 cabins I'm going to put into marketing, and I'm going to spend it on ads and collaboration. And that's it. Out of the full 36 cabins, only 2 cabins are going to be spent on marketing. And you could get away with 1 cabin, honestly. So we'll talk about the marketing kit later on. I want to go straight into questions, and then I want to pull up the 23-page doc that I prepared for you that's going to talk to you about, because I want to talk to you about lead generation and all of the new stuff that I have prepped for you. Look at this. This is what we're about to go through right now that I have prepped for you. But let's go in first and have a look to see if there's any questions that you want me to answer. Okay, let's see. Are you doing this for all website in a weekend clients or just the most recent? All of them. All of them. If you've ever done website in a weekend, or if we designed your website, we can pick up and place our Egypt page into your website with your branding and your fonts, and all of the images are already in there ready to go. The only thing that I will say is we are chartering the Ama Lilia. If you want to show off the Ama Dahlia, you would have to put your own images in there. But I did pay for a photographer to come and photograph the Dahlia, which is what we sailed on. So I can give you the folder with those images in it. Actually, no, you know what I would do? I would clone the page that I made on Egypt and replace the Lilia photos with the Dahlia photos. But also because the ships are very different. Very, very, very different. And I preferred the Lilia over the Dahlia. I still liked it, but I chose to do my charter on the Lilia. So we'll make sure that you have the option for both sets of images just there. Sandra said, yes, and my land commissions were amazing as well. Absolutely. Let's just see. Questions. Somebody says here, hi, I did not do the Soulful experience. I sailed on the new Ama Lilia, and everything Sandra says is 100% true. The average temp for us was 110. Ama makes it completely easy. Yeah, I just wouldn't do it any other way. Shantha said if you add on the pre and post commission is way more than that, 100%. I know what the commission is for it, but I also know that you're all from different host agencies, and some of your host agencies don't have you all have different commissions, but yeah, it's pretty amazing. Let's see. Even if we built your website in 2019, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She says, my gorgeous and high converting website. Yeah, I can drop the Egypt page into there. Can you go into more difference between the ships? I don't want to. Okay. The Lilia is, no, you know what? It's just, I'm always honest with you guys. The Dahlia, to me, I'm a hotel snob and I love interior design. And the Lilia, I'll tell you what the Lilia is that I didn't feel on the Dahlia, because the 2 ships were docked together for the first day. The Lilia to me feels light, bright, luxury, brand new. And the Dahlia feels like she needs a little bit of work in dry dock. She's clean. This crew are incredible. The experience is the same, but the layout of the ships is different. For example, I was in a suite on deck 3. The lounge was above me. That's all I need to say about that. On the Lilia, the lounge is behind reception, and above it is the restaurant. So nobody has the lounge below them. I don't want to put down the Dahlia, but these are just things that made me decide. I feel so terrible right now. These are just things that made me decide why I would want to do it on the Lilia versus the Dahlia. But I would put it this way, if the Lilia wasn't available, I would have happily taken our charter on the Dahlia. So that's probably, it's a decor thing. And then also the placement of a few things like the lounge. And that's critical for me. And I think also the lounge being behind the reception. On every river cruise line that I have been on, it's been really in that spot. It provides that place where everybody comes and gathers together. On the Dahlia, the lounge is on deck 4 and it's at the back of the ship, can't remember, and front of the ship. And I felt like I never went there because I always forgot to go there unless there was an event on. I think that's the biggest difference. You'll see in the images though. Will you be creating, oh, hi Tilly, hi James, will you be creating this for the Soulful Epicurean Cruises Armour offers? We have group space bookings in Portugal. So I need to do I haven't done Portugal. I've actually never been to Portugal, ever. I've been to 93 countries and I've never been to Portugal. I feel like for the marketing kits, I really need to have been there in order to do the detail that we provide in the marketing kits. But that being said, I would reach out to Armour Waterways and say, hey, we always invest in Sandra's marketing kits. She doesn't have one from Portugal because she hasn't been. What can you do about that? Because if they get me on I might be able to get on a sailing where I can help with that. But yeah, it's just because I haven't done it yet that I wouldn't do that yet. I feel like I know how much this experience in Egypt changed the way that I would market it. I had actually done my landing page for my group before I left, and then I scrapped it and started from scratch when I got back. So I would love to. My goal is to do all the itineraries. They did invite me on the Choba to go directly after Egypt. They invited me, Amma, and it was an invite. So I would have been really lucky to do it, but I couldn't be away from that long from home. And I had TV commitments when I got back as well. So my goal is to go on all of the big itineraries, including Amazon for Uniworld, and to really build out good marketing assets for all of you guys. Yes, I'll recap at the end. I want to get through some of this content before. Can you share tips on finding a reputable photographer and arranging photo shoots? I cannot, and I'll tell you why. I can recommend you my photographer in Cairo, not a problem. But we had a miss. We had an epic fail with our photographer in Luxor, and it was the worst because you can't redo it afterwards. I'm taking a photographer on our charter, and he is from Luxor, but I've only worked with him once, so I don't know that I would recommend it. And the photographer that was a fail, I actually checked his entire folio and it was so disappointing. The biggest barrier, honestly, is the language barrier, and that is a big deal. But I got a photographer that didn't look like the folio, and I'm actually going through a bit of an issue now with that company to try and get my money back because the photos were hideous. Can I still get a Wix website created through TMM? Yeah, Angela, you can do. Hi, lovely. I haven't seen you for a while. You can do the next website in a weekend. We're gonna put out a survey asking who wants to do it, and I think Margie, if you're here from my team, can you let me know if there is a notification form on the website in a weekend page, and if so, we'll drop the link at the end of this for those of you who want to do that. You can indicate how quickly you would want to do it, and we can see if we can schedule one because we don't have one scheduled for this year. We just finished one, but if there's enough people, we probably could. Someone said, who's this? Laurie says, so grateful for the page for our website. It'll really help. Yes. Okay, lots of questions about website in a weekend. So we'll talk about that at the end because I want to get through this content for you. Can you talk about the first steps you took to charter a ship with Armour? I'm going to do that for the marketing kit clients. I'm going to do it a little bit for you right now anyway by going into all the assets, but the step-by-step of every single thing that I did, including building my email list, I'm going to do that for the website, for the Egypt kit group, because that's one of the biggest deliverables that they're going to get when you invest in the Egypt marketing kit, is that you're going to travel along with me through this process, and I'll talk about it from the beginning. Okay. Can you also share your landing page with the Danube sailing this October? Yes, I can. Of course I can, Shantha. I would love to do that. We're going to make a bunch of pages available for purchase, but they're really, really, really small cost. Is your information interchangeable for advisors in Canada and the US? Any differences? No, no differences at all. Just change Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, so let me jump into this content because I really want to get through this for you so that you can ask questions and so that this all sinks in. So I didn't introduce myself at the beginning because I feel like it's such a waste of time sometimes, but here's a quick thing. I'm Sandra, the CEO of Travel Marketing and Media. I'm a senior travel contributor for 5 national news networks now and a travel TV host. Big news. My new show, Authentic Escapes, just got the thumbs up and it's going to air on all the major airlines around the world starting in 2025. So I have a brand new show of my own and 2 episodes we actually filmed while we were in Egypt. For those of you who sailed with us, you'll know that we filmed while we were there. And we did episodes 1 and 2, which is Upper and Lower Egypt, which you both all know now where that is. We have 6 episodes in season 1 coming out next year. So I'll let you know when I know which airlines it's going on. I'll find out in September. And it'll also stream on Roku. It'll be on our website that you can watch it, the TV show website. So that's really going to help you to sell Egypt because we shot at every single place and I have pieces to camera. It's kind of done like masterclass style, masterclass.com, where I sit like, what's her name? Anna Wintour. I just watched her masterclass. I'm obsessed with masterclass and I'm going to talk to the camera and talk to you about why you should go and how you should go. And of course, y'all, I recommend that you should book through a travel advisor and go back and talk to your travel advisor. So 2 full episodes, I think they're like 24 minutes, 28 minutes each. Upper and Lower Egypt, when that comes out next year, that's going to be something that you can put into your marketing kit and it won't cost you anything. Recommend that your clients watch it, make a big deal about the show because that's going to really fast track your marketing and sales. Okay. So let's slow down. I want you to know the difference between marketing, promotion, and advertising. They are not the same. I did a podcast episode yesterday. It's going to come out probably tomorrow. And there are 2 coming out. One is Pinterest. For those of you who did our Pinterest course, I answered your questions. And then I did a podcast episode about why your business is not where it needs to be. And a lot of it is to do with promotion and advertising. Travel advisors are always saying, we do marketing. All of y'all do marketing, okay? But marketing, promotion, and advertising are different. And I'm going to give you an exact example using Egypt in a second. Marketing. Marketing is the overall strategy to attract clients to Egypt and the Nile. Overall strategy. Its scope includes market research, creating packages, if you were doing that, pricing strategies, distribution channels to sell, customer service, sales strategies. It's the whole big plan. The whole big plan. It's the plan of filling, like it's the whole big plan. Your goal when you do marketing is to understand what potential travelers or clients want in order to build a strong relationship with them that gets you to a booking. It is very different to promotion. The definition of promotion is activities that raise awareness and interest in specifically that itinerary. Its scope involves special offers, social media campaigns, webinars, email newsletters, partnerships with influencers, just to name a few. You don't have to do these things. And these things I don't always encourage, like special offers, you know that, unless it's a value add, not a discount, although discounts do work if they're done the right way. The goal of promotion is to boost short-term bookings and generate excitement about Egypt and the Nile, okay? Advertising is paid efforts to reach potential travelers with messages about Egypt and Nile trips, okay? The scope of advertising includes online ads, social media ads, sponsored posts, print ads, all of those kinds of things. And the goal is to inform and persuade a large audience and drive interest in bookings in the cruise. So when I hear that y'all are posting on social and building things in Canva, that is the extent to which 99% of travel advisors are marketing. They're like, I'm doing marketing. I'm posting on social and I'm building stuff in Canva. I'm doing marketing. And I put stuff on my website. I'm doing marketing. You're not. You're doing a tiny element of marketing, but if that's all you're doing, you're not doing promotion and advertising. So let's put this into an example. A travel agency wants to increase bookings for a 12-day Egypt and Nile River cruise. Marketing. You would develop a comprehensive strategy involving market research to identify who your ideal clients are. they luxury travelers, history enthusiasts, etc.? You would create engaging content highlighting the unique aspects of the cruise and the itinerary and ensure top-notch customer service to assist with bookings and inquiries. Okay, that's an overall big plan. Promotion. In the promotion field, you would offer limited time promotions. Maybe you would do discounted air, not you offering discounted air. I mean, like the cruise lines and their air deals. Additional nights pre and post, complimentary cabin upgrades, whatever it is that the cruise line are offering as their promo for your clients, that would be your promo. You would run social media campaigns featuring stunning visuals and testimonials from past travelers. You'd organize webinars. Maybe you'd get an Egyptologist. Maybe you'd get a history professor. Maybe you would get, don't invite me because I can't say yes to all of you, so I'll say no to all of you, but you would invite somebody like me who could speak to the personal experience. It could be like a previous client that you've sent, or somebody that you know that has been there. You would send out targeted email campaigns. You would really show the detailed itinerary and the benefits. Advertising is where you would invest in targeted online ads. So you might run Google ads and Facebook ads. You might do sponsored posts on travel blogs. You could do social media ads, print ads in travel. I wouldn't do travel magazines, but you could do travel magazines, but you could do any kind of a publication. I have an ad going out in a digital newsletter for a private school that I paid for, right? So there's lots of different things that you could do there, but that is the difference between marketing, promotion, and advertising. Tilly and James, if you're thinking about your group in Portugal next year, you have to ask yourself, you've probably done a ton of marketing. It wouldn't surprise me if you checked every box in marketing, but are you doing promotion and are you doing advertising? You don't need to answer. I'm just saying that's where I would look. And this is where most travel advisors fail short. In fact, can I just point out, this is how your business should be. You should do marketing for your business, but then you should promote your business and advertise your business. The podcast episode, the episode 40 that's coming out soon, it is purely about that. Okay, so now let's take a look at some lead generating tactics. If you have questions, hold on to them. I'm going to get you to type them all at once so that it's easier for me to find. I'm listing out here some lead generating tactics for you. And this is, you get to download this PDF as soon as we get offline today. So the first one is content marketing. You need to create informative blogs, articles about Egypt and the Nile. Okay, marketing kit is going to have probably about, I would say, 15 to 20 articles, but we're also going to list 50 different topics that we think would make great articles based on our experience being there, because it's directly relevant to the itinerary or the destination. Share traveler testimonials and success stories. I will happily give you in the marketing kit my own testimonial. You can put my picture, travel TV host and travel contributor for network news, and then you can put, I'll do a sentence on there, a paragraph for you, and you can put my picture, and it's like a testimonial for the destination, for the itinerary, for the program. If you want that from me, you can happily use that inside the marketing kit, because you might not have a testimonial from someone who has been before. Why don't you just use mine? I'll do that. Okay. You'll want to share your own traveler testimonials and success stories as soon as you get them. When you get your first person go out to Egypt, you definitely want to make a big deal. And I would say, and we'll go over this more in the kit, but I would say it goes beyond, for those of you who don't need the kit, do this. It goes beyond just asking them for a testimonial. I would jump on a Zoom call with them. I would have interview questions. I would ask them to record the Zoom call, and then I would transcribe that so that you had many, many, many bits and pieces that you could use, because just asking someone to write a testimonial is not enough. And that, you might want to write that down, everybody. That is a piece of gold testimonial advice that I have never given before. Jumping on a Zoom call and doing that. We had 4 clients of ours for Website in a Weekend. Jamie Ellison, I know you were there. And then there were 3 others, Chrissy Costello, and if I can have 10 seconds to think about it, I'll come up with the other 2 names. But anyway, 4 incredible travel advisors. Anthony jumped on, my husband, for those of you who don't know, jumped on a Zoom call with them and asked them about their experience doing Website in a Weekend. And we used those testimonials in marketing. Okay. And so it was really, really important for us to be able to dig deeper than just writing to them and saying, hey, you guys did Website in a Weekend. Can I have a testimonial? We actually did a Zoom interview, and then we transcribed it. So now we've got like call out sentences like that we can use and put anywhere. Social media, you also want to make sure that you've got engaging videos as well. The videos are the hardest thing, and I hate that Amma doesn't have the marketing assets for you, but I'm glad that we invested the money to go out there and do it, because we have video B-roll, we have photographs. There's an image gallery. We just did a free stock image gallery for you for Egypt. I think it's got like 150 images in it for Egypt that you can use. Social media marketing. Run targeted ad campaigns on Facebook and Instagram if that's what you're on. I'm not on either of them for business, but we are going to run an ad campaign on Pinterest for sure. And I don't know, I'm thinking also maybe on LinkedIn, I'm not too sure, or on Google. I don't have experience in either of those, but I know we're definitely running Pinterest. Share captivating videos and photos of the Nile and Egypt. Photos are everything. I think that using stock imagery is great when you don't have anything else, but can I tell you, I know that you all see images of me in Egypt differently than you see the stock images. I don't know why that is. Let me know in the comments. But somebody said the other day, oh my gosh, it's real now that I've seen someone I know in a picture there. Maybe, is that what it is? Because I've never seen a picture of somebody I know in Egypt, because I don't know anyone who has been to Egypt and shown me their photographs. So I couldn't place a familiar face in an something to me that looks like it's out of the movies. But maybe that's what it is. But people have told me, like, this image in the front there, I don't know if you noticed, there's Anthony just here down the bottom, and there's me over here, and this is the Ramesses laying down statue, no feet. And we did a stand-up piece here for the show. It's part of the tour that you go out here to Memphis. And so maybe it's just being able to see real people, but definitely when you go out there, shots like this, for example, not photoshopped, not even filtered. This is exactly what I looked like on that day in that spot. That dust storm with the camels in the back just happened to happen. This one down here, this was taken at the Alabaster Mosque, just sitting on a ledge because it was hot and I needed to sit down, and the photographer snapped that of me. So I think that those images are really powerful when you do get to go on your own. I don't think you have to go to sell a charter. I don't think you have to go to sell it. But when you do go, I think most of you will go for the first time when you host your first group or you take a first group. But make sure that you do get photos when you're out there. And I can definitely refer you to the photographer that we used in Cairo. Host live Q&A sessions and webinars on social media platforms. We'll be doing this for our Danube group. Currently, we're hosting a Zoom call just to keep them all together, and it's still within the booking window, and we still have cabins available, so that might help them to bring friends and family as well. And you can collaborate with people of influence to reach a broader audience. Okay, some more lead generating tactics. Email marketing. This is how we plan to fill our charter. We have an email list that we started building last year. It's only small. We just started building it of friends and family and fans, and I think we have 2,800 people on our email list. How did we get 2,800 so quick? We made it our goal. We put in effort. We made a landing page. We started a free travel club, and all that means is that you get the itinerary sent out in the VIP booking window. There's nothing else to it. But we made it a point to share on our Facebook page, on our personal profiles. We told friends and family. We sent text messages. Like Anthony and I wrote a text message. In the marketing kit, we'll give you the scripts that we use, the actual text messages that we used. And we said things like, hey, y'all, all good here in the Macklemore house. Anthony and I are heading out to the Danube this year to do a cruise out of Budapest and one out of the Nile. You're always asking us about trips, saying we should travel together. This would be your chance. Can I send you over some info? If so, shoot me the best email address. 100% of people gave us their email address. And we just went through our phone and did copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste while we were watching Love is Blind Brazil on the couch. And we got all the email, because we didn't have email addresses for our friends and family. We just did it. We only have cell phone numbers. And then what we didn't have there, we then went through on our Facebook, and we went into our friends, and we went through all of our friends and sent DMs to everybody. And that built up the first 300 to 500 people in our list. And then we sent them a welcome email saying, hey, thanks for joining our luxury travel club. We can't wait to invite you on the 1 or 2 trips a year that we're going to curate. Share this link with your friends and family. And then we saw another 100 or 200 trickle in. You have to put in an effort, though. It's more than just having an opt-in form, okay? You can have lead magnets. We don't have any lead magnets on our trip website. We just haven't had time to do it. But if I think that that's something that we will do for the promotion of our charter, that we'll put out a lead magnet and see if that helps at all. Search engine optimization. Our website is one thing that we were really good about. We made sure, website in a weekend, people, you don't have to worry about that because we took care of that for you, but we made sure that every page, the site was built well for SEO so that people can find us. Okay, some more lead generating tactics, pay per click advertising, also known as PPC. So you could do this. I don't know how to do this. I have to hire someone to do it. And I haven't found somebody yet, but I'm going to find someone and I'm going to get them to set up our ads. It's really simple. Pinterest offer a service where you have a minimum spend on ads every month, and it's not huge. I think it's $15 a day or $10 a day. They'll help you set up your ads. Okay, so we're definitely going to do Pinterest ads, webinars, and online workshops. We're not going to do live webinars like what I do with you guys because I feel like it's harder for consumers to all make it at a particular time. So I was thinking about this, you know, like us being in television, I was thinking like, what can I do? And then I realized, you know, like back in the day, if I wanted to catch the Cosby Show, which was my favorite, I would have to tune in at a particular date on a particular time. Now, and then also you would see ads for the Cosby Show of what day and time it was on, like this time, this day, unless it's a still event like George Stephanopoulos is interviewing the president Friday night, 8 p.m. Central. How do I remember? Because I saw it one time this morning and it stayed in my brain. For the most part, when shows are advertised, they're not usually advertised with, especially on streaming, they're never advertised with days and times. Why? Because you can just be on demand. You can go in on demand. So that made me think, oh, all of these webinars for consumers that I'm going to do, I'm just going to make them on demand. And I'm going to make them short videos, not long trainings like what we do together. We do long trainings together because I want to get you a lot of information and I don't want you to show up multiple times. For consumers, I would break it down into smaller videos. Why you need to visit Egypt in the next 10 years. There's a really good reason. And then I would make a video just on that, 2-minute video, 3-minute video. I'd make another video on how long do you need to spend to have a trip in Egypt and how much will it cost? I would do that. Then I would do another video on something else. So I would do a lot of on-demand videos, and then I would send out an email to my email list saying, hey, we just curated a gallery of 15 videos here. You don't even have to be on camera. Because right now in your head, a lot of you are thinking, I'm not doing video. I'm not a TV host. I'm not a news anchor. I can't do what she does. Yes, you can. You don't even have to be on camera. You could turn yourself off and have slides up just like mine were and not even have yourself on the camera. You could just have a picture on there. So definitely webinars and online workshopy videos are a great way to do it. Partnerships and collaborations with travel bloggers. If you know any travel bloggers, mommy bloggers, fashion bloggers, food bloggers, anyone like that you can reach out to. And you can't just reach out and be like, hey, do you want to partner with me? Especially if you're not paying them. You have to have an authentic relationship with them, okay? And it might be that if 10 people from your community come, that you might give them a comp, or you might be able to offer something to them. Don't split your commission with people. I'm not saying that, but there are definitely different collaborations that you can do. In the marketing kit, I'm going to talk about the one big collaboration that we did for Danube and how that helped us. It helped us to get 70% of our bookings, I want to say. Okay, and then finally is online reviews and testimonials. You definitely, and I talked about this earlier, so I don't need to go into big detail, but you can absolutely use your testimonials to market. And I don't think a lot of you do anything with testimonials past putting them on your website. Okay, who is Egypt suited to? I'm not going to read through these, but I really want you to take the time to read through them. I tried to break down and profile the different travelers now after my experience: history and culture enthusiasts, luxury travelers, adventure seekers, retirees, and older adults. Egypt is not for old people. You don't wait till you're old to go to Egypt. All I'm saying is have a lot of time to burn, okay? There's a lot of people that I met in Cornerstone Bakery the other day. They're like in their late 60s, early 70s, retired. But honestly, if she hadn't spent so much time in the sun, I would have thought she was in her 50s. People are retiring, and 60 today is different than when my Nana was 60. You know, my Nana that I always talk about, the one who's 101, when she was 60, she already looked like old. Now 60 is not old. I don't even think 60 is old. Okay, families. Oh my gosh, the number of people who think Egypt is too expensive for families. We have a family who grandma wants to come, and she wants to bring her 2 kids and 4 grandkids, and she wants to pay for everybody on our charter. How crazy is that? and couples and solo travelers. Doing Egypt with Waterways is incredible for solo travelers because Egypt is not somewhere that you can solo travel easily. Photographers and bloggers, oh my gosh, photographers and bloggers will love Egypt, and spiritual and religious travelers as well. And when I say spiritual and religious, every religion, because Egypt is the birth of civilization, and all major world religions didn't start there, but all collided there together in a really interesting way. Okay, let's go into your marketing asset checklist. You're about to freak out. I'm about to show you all the food in the fridge. You are not meant to eat all the food. Take out only what you need. My mama used to yell at us. She'd be like, close the fridge. We'd be like, we're just looking. She'd be like, well, decide what you want before you go in there. And then smarty pants, I would say, I don't know what I want because I can't see inside. I'm about to show you all the food in the fridge. You don't need everything, but this first page, you need everything on this first page. Make yourself a note. First page of the assets. I don't know what page this is of the document, but first page of the assets. So the one after this page, this one here, you might want to take a picture so you remember. This page, you must have everything on this page. You have to have your logo and your branding correct. You don't even have to have a logo. Your branding has to be spot on. You have to have digital presence. You have to have dedicated landing page, an SEO optimized blog or section for your articles, and you have to have an FAQ. It doesn't have to be its own page. It can be on your Egypt page, but you must have those things. You will not be able to sell Egypt easily without those things. Here, actually, this is also a must-have to successfully sell. So take a picture of this one too with our beautiful Nubian goddess there. Visual and multimedia assets. You've got to have good pictures. You've got to have good video content. You've got to have testimonials. You have one. I told you that you can use me. You've got to have infographics that are just basic. They can just be like PDF style or just written words. They don't have to be so much the graphic with illustrations, but you've got to have this extra level of help and education that's not required for any other destination. You do not have to have social media. You do not have to have social media, but you must have a content calendar of what you're going to put out there. You have a content menu of what you're going to put out, and then have a calendar of when you're going to put it out. You do not have to run social media ads, but I highly recommend it. Test your ads and make sure that your audience is right before you start putting a lot of money into it. $5 a day just to get your audience right, and then you could increase later on. Advertising assets. So if you're going to do advertising, which makes sense because you should be doing marketing, promoting, and advertising, you're going to need things like banner ads. All of these templates are in the marketing kit. You'll need all of the visual assets, ad copy and visuals for any ad campaigns you're going to run. Like I said, no one in our team knows how to run ads. So we're just going to get help to be able to do that. Lead generation tools. You don't have to have all of these things. Like I said, I didn't have a single lead magnet for the Danube, and we sold 50 to 60 people we've got going, and in 3 weeks. It was so easy because we had we had good branding, we had a good website presence, we had great imagery, we had great videos, and we had great content on the page, and that was enough. Okay. Email templates and email sequences. 1,000% you must have this. 1,000%. Promotional materials like brochures and flyers and webinar content, you don't have to, but it's more food in the fridge. It's going to help you. Okay. Partnerships and collaborations. This to me is a must, unless you have a solid audience. Like I feel like after maybe 2 years of doing these trips, or maybe even just after our first trip in October, I feel like every other trip that we put out after that is going to be easier. I don't know if you think the same, but my feeling, it's just a feeling. It's not knowledge or fact. My feeling is we get back in October cruising with these 60 people. I wish that we were selling Egypt after that because I feel like it would have just sold really easily. 72 people can go on that ship, and some of them are my team. So, and the photographers. So I feel like it would have been, once you get your first one, your next ones will come easily. Affiliate materials, I don't recommend doing any kind of a commission sharing or sharing of revenue, but I do believe in rewarding partners in whatever way makes sense for you, but there have to be very strict parameters. So for Danny, for example, I did partner with somebody and I said, if we get X number of bookings that come through from your community, I will get you a cabin. And that's what we did. I'll get you a cabin. She doubled that. So I did her airfare and her cabin. So yeah. Client testimonials and reviews, we talked about that. Absolute must have. If you don't have any for Egypt, you start with mine. Analytics and tracking is critical. What you don't want to be is in a situation where, like, if Tilly and James had have said to me before, we've got group space for next month on Portugal, we're panicking because we have tons of space. You don't want to be in that situation. They're talking about 2025. They are proactive. They're saying we have group space in 2025. We need to get stuff out there now. The most important thing that you do with the marketing that you put out is that you analyze and track it. So you can say, oh my gosh, my Pinterest is doing really well, but my Facebook is not. I'm running Facebook ads and my Pinterest organic traffic, this is just an example, is doing so well. I'm actually going to move the ad money from Facebook to Pinterest. Or, gosh, Instagram's doing really, really well for me, but Facebook is not. Let me put more effort into doing this and not bother with Facebook as much. Or, hey, I noticed I got a peak in bookings after each email that I sent out. I'm going to send more emails, but I'm really going to focus on making those quality. Maybe I'll go back through my emails and add a video to each one of me talking. Maybe I'll add an audio where I get to read the email. We used to do that. So knowing your numbers as you market is really important. I would expect if anyone came and asked us, we don't do one-on-one coaching right now. We haven't done that for years. But if I was doing one-on-one coaching now, and say, for example, Tilly and James said, can we do a coaching session so that we can work on our Portugal? The first thing that I would do is freak my coaching clients out by saying, right, show me your numbers. What's your website traffic? Show me your Portugal landing page. What is your ad spend? What have you done to promote? What have you done to market? How many people and what are your average opens for your email list for these Portugal emails? Where's your email sequence? That straight away would highlight to most people like, oh, gosh, maybe I'm not doing enough. But not knowing your numbers would highlight to me that you don't know what's working and what's not. And I gave this example in one of my trainings last week. Think of it like a stovetop, a gas stovetop. If something is not working, you can just turn that down. Stop putting gas into that burner. Turn it off or turn it down. If something's working really well, turn it up so that you can do more of it. There's some lead generation tips there for press if you want to do that. It's not as easy if you haven't been doing press, like media interviews and stuff like that, then I don't know that now is the time to get started. But if you want to learn about it for the goal of being able to leverage media, it's a long game. It's not a short game. It's a very, very long game. Okay, so all access pass window, we did get a question about this. I want you to type right now any questions that you have for me about marketing or selling Egypt. Marketing or selling Egypt. All access pass opens July 25th to July 30th. So get a pen or type this out because I want to make it super clear. For the Egypt marketing kit, we're going to do 20% off the Egypt marketing kit for all access pass holders. Okay, you can be a current all access pass holder or jump into the next season. All access pass, for those of you who don't know, is something I'm not going to go into it now because I don't want to spend the time doing it. I want to spend the time answering your questions. Go to travelmarketingandmedia.com/all access. Flora, can you drop a link in the chat, please? Go there and check it out. It only opens twice a year for 5 days each time. Thankfully, it's just around the corner. It's 20 days from now. So if you are not an all access pass member, you're thinking to yourself, well, I want 20% off my Egypt marketing kit. What we'll do is we'll let you sign up for the pre-sale for the Egypt marketing kit. You'll pay the full price, but then when you come back through to do your all access pass, you'll get that equivalent discount for your all access pass. Okay. If you're currently an all access pass member, you'll just get 20% off. We're going to give you a coupon code for that. All right. So from here, your next steps. Your goals might start small. I want to know what your goal is. Tell me in the chat. Is your goal just to get one booking, one cabin? Is your goal to do a group that you send? If so, how many cabins? Is your goal to host a group? Is your goal to do a charter? Is your goal to do a charter by yourself or to do a charter with a group of other travel advisors? What we will be doing is we're going to do an Egypt and the Nile chat group on our website community. We have these little chat communities where you can communicate with each other. If you want to, you might find other travel advisors there that you can start discussing that with, or go ahead and put a post in our Facebook group. I'm totally cool if anyone wants to do that. Put in a post saying, hey, I want to do a charter. Other travel advisors want to band together. And my advice there would be that when you do a charter with other travel advisors or by yourself, my biggest advice is start selling before the day that you have to sign charter paperwork. And if you have not filled the charter by the day you have to sign the paperwork, do not sign it. Do not sign it. Turn your people who are already booked into a group. I met someone on my trip in Egypt. She was a travel advisor and she signed a whole ship charter and it's 8 months away and she hasn't sold anything. And she asked me if I wanted to partner with her, but I didn't want to. She's lovely, but I didn't want to because it doesn't match my calendar of my things that I have to do. And it's on an itinerary that I have not been on. And I'm too scared for charters to do a charter on something I haven't been on because I don't have the marketing for it. And specifically, I'll tell you it was for Colombia. And there is no marketing collateral product for Colombia yet for Ama Waterways. There will be. I'm going to try and get on the first sailing so that I can create a kit for you guys. But I would just recommend not signing charter paperwork because you could lose your business, you could lose your house, you could lose a lot. It's a huge financial risk. The reward is breathtaking if you can pull it off. The reward is breathtaking. Okay, so here is what I would do. Remembering that failing to plan ensures that you plan to fail. Step 1, set your goal. So share with me your goal. Is it a hosted trip, group, individual booking? How many? What time frame? Number 2, reverse engineer. I always say this, work backwards from your goal to map out your plan. Don't work from where you are to where you're trying to get to. It's like a GPS. Put in your address, know your goal, and then you figures out how to get there. Make your goal to do a hosted trip or a group or sell X number of cabins, and then work backwards and say, okay, what assets do I have? What assets do I need? What's going to be my marketing plan? I want you to do an asset audit. I want you to actually look, do you have blogs already? Do you have images already? Do you have email sequences already? Because if you do, that's great. If not, who can you get to help you to create this content? If you can't do that, then have a look at our kit. But the kit is not necessary for everybody. You can do this on your own. You can truly do this on your own. It's just going to require a lot more time and a lot more cost. Track and measure. Knowing if your marketing is performing is knowing if it gives you the ability to be able to make data-driven decisions, not emotional decisions. I used to make a lot of emotional decisions in my business, and now I only make data-driven decisions. We're making the decision to switch off and close down our marketing shop. We have hundreds of bundles in it. Why? We're happy just to focus on the all access pass and not let people pop in and buy $35 here, $35 there. Why? Because I went and looked at my data and only 2% of our shop revenue comes from individual a la carte purchases. The rest comes from all access pass. Just one more thing, we don't have to manage a shop. And so I was able, if someone had told me a year ago, hey, I think you should shut down your shop and just focus on all access pass twice a year, it means that I only have to be in selling mode for 10 days a year. And the rest of the year I can focus on creating content and serving our clients. I will pick that any day. But if you'd have told me a year ago that I should shut down the shop, I would tell you, no way. When I went and I looked at the numbers, I was like, oh, snap, it's like 1% to 2% of our sales are a la carte. Okay, I'm just going to stick with all access pass. Okay, so you need to have a plan. All righty. So questions. Let me go into our questions. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go across to our questions. Okay, I want to look at some of your goals. I'm scrolling up. I hope today was helpful. While I'm doing your questions, can you go in and tell me what your best moment was today? What your hashtag best moment? What was the moment today that you clicked? Because I want you to sell a ton of Egypt in the Nile. I want you to sell a ton of Ama Waterways. Why Ama Waterways specifically? Because I know that they have the best product in Egypt. I truly do. I do. I got to see how the other groups worked. I got to see the different options out there. I saw DIY. I saw people on FITs, and I know it. I know it with every fiber of my being. And I want you to make really, really good commission. The show is called Authentic Escapes. And the tagline for the show, it's not the tagline, but I guess the core message for the show is helping you to have authentic experiences in every destination that you go to so that it can connect you to the people and the destination that you visit. Okay. Someone said here, Priscilla, hey, I bought the River Cruise Marketing Kit, the Danube kit. Will you add the new Egypt content to it? No. The Danube kit is just about the Danube and Egypt is just about Egypt. They're two separate kits. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Of course, you can't help all of us personally, but could you do a podcast that we could share? You know what we could do for the marketing kit Oh, well, my podcast though is trade facing. So maybe I could just do I could do an audio recording that you could share with your audience, or a video that you could share with your audience. Probably a video, I would say, where in the marketing kit, where I could talk about 3 reasons why traveling to Egypt changed my life. And I want anyone who has the capacity to go to Egypt to go. I could do that video and put it in the marketing kit, and it would be on my tagline. It would be Sandra McLemore, senior travel contributor for Network News and TV host. And then I could say, close it out at the end with, I definitely recommend reaching out to your travel advisor or travel agent to get this on your bucket list sooner rather than later. And I could just end it like that. And then you can put those onto your website. Is that what you mean? I think that would be helpful. Okay. I love the idea of a podcast, but I also love the idea of a podcast outline if we wanted to create our own. Oh, yeah. There are podcast outlines for sure for Egypt. Podcast outlines for sure. Someone says here, Rebecca says, I've been so conditioned to not share stock photos that have supplier logos on them. So I'm always unsure what to do when I don't have photos of my own. It's really hard. I would say when you don't have photos of your own, and when I say photos of your own that are taken by a photographer, because most of the time our own photos are not that great, unless yours are, I would say stock image is the best way to market. For Danube, we used all stock imagery. We didn't use any of our own photos because I hadn't done a photo shoot on the Danube, because I've been trying to lose weight. And I said to myself, girl, you're not having a photo shoot until you've lost the weight. So I've lost the weight now. So I am going to, in Budapest in October, do a photo shoot so that I have my own. And I'll probably do a couple of shoots along the river just for an hour each morning when I arrive in. But I would say definitely use stock imagery. Do not use any marketing that has supplier logos ever. You are not paid. Where is your check? Where's your check from the cruise line or from the tour operator for marketing for them? They don't give you a check. Don't market them. Market your own business. Angela says your pictures make me want to go even more convincing. Absolutely. I'm 72 and my husband's 73. He pushed himself to be able to participate in all the activities. Active 70 plus can handle this. Absolutely. And I think that you would agree with me that that's why it has to be sooner rather than later. Imagine if you guys had have left it just 10 years. Someone who is 64, I appreciate that you no longer think of 60 as old. No, I'm pushing 50. I don't think 60 is old. I would have to change my attitude. Michelle, yes, everything we talked about today is already there for you to be able to download. Yeah, if you want to learn more about the All Access Pass, you can do that here. Let's see some of your goals. 20 cabins, amazing. 20 cabins is so close to a ship, though. Ship is only 36 cabins, minus your cabin, it's only 35. Start with 1 booking. Love it, Robin. 1 booking, 1 booking. My goal is to go on this trip for free. There you go. Start with 1 booking, start with a group of 5. I really like that, 5 cabins. Someone said, Angela says, host a group of 5 cabins or more. I love these goals. Okay, I'm looking for questions. Kathy says, I have already created a group. I didn't intend to host it, but now I'm thinking about it. I created it when 2 people wanted to travel. You absolutely should. Absolutely should. I feel like when I got off the webinar Wednesday, I got some DMs from travel advisors and some emails saying, you've made me want to go. Now you've made me want to go. Your pictures made me want to go. So Kathy, you just doing a quick couple of pictures in Cairo. And I'll just tell you really quickly, the only way you can do photo shoots on your itinerary is to go in a day early. You can't have a photographer. We had to get very special permission to have a photographer come with us and meet us at the places. And it is almost a logistical nightmare. No, it is a logistical nightmare to have a photographer be with you because you're always with the bus. So you would just go in a day early and you would go to the pyramids just to have photos taken, go somewhere else just to have photo taken, and then you'll go back with the tour group to visit everything. Okay, I'm looking for questions. Okay. Tip on chartering with other agents: be sure the ship charter makes each individual agent responsible for their share, because I got stuck with the entire charter cost when another agent did not. I actually don't think most cruise lines will even do that. They might, Angie. Hi, Miss Angie. Most cruise lines will ask you, unless you formed a company together, but most of them will make one person responsible. So that's why I think that you should only sign charter paperwork when your ship is fully booked and you have a wait list, so that you've covered at least your cost of the charter and you're operating in the profit margin just there. But yes, you have to do a lot of work before you just be like, hey, it's not like a group project at school where you can just pick teams and start selling. Okay. Is the marketing kit available without membership? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. We'll be sending out an email probably, I would say today or tomorrow, with the pre-sale. It won't be available until August 1st at the absolute latest, because we're still working on it. But we'll send out the pre-sale email, and there's an early bird offer where you can just get $100 off if you don't need to be an All Access Pass member. Not everybody needs All Access Pass. Not everybody does. Not everybody wants it. Not everybody needs it. Okay. Amma has a toolkit, and it's okay as a start being aware of their options. Yes, they do. They do have a toolkit. I don't know what's in it. What advice do you have for brand new agents? Build your email list. Build your email list. With an email list, you can sell anything to anyone. Your email list, you need to have on your email list people who want to do the kind of travel that you want to sell. So you can't just run around and collect email addresses. It has to be of people who want to do the type of travel that you want to sell. I could lose everything in my business. If my computer and Dropbox and everything was to disappear and I could never get any file back, the only one file that I would want is my email list. I could lose my website. I could lose anything. Anything. Okay, some of your biggest takeaways for the day. That I can sell this destination without going there, with the right tools. Yes, and I would say, Robin, with the right knowledge and understanding of the destination. Kelly says the marketing strategy is key. Absolutely. So these are some of your takeaways for the day. Emphasis on difference between marketing and advertising and promotion. Yep. 100%. Joanne says her biggest takeaway today was how to use testimonials and how to conduct them. The Zoom interview is the best. Jamie's question, if we have the River Cruise marketing kit already, will we get updates from your Danube trip, or is that going to be a whole new kit? We're not going to update the kits just because the content that we put in there is evergreen, and we price the kits based on the amount of content that went into it. And I hope this comes across the right way. Please receive this with good intention. We don't want to be responsible for the expectation of the kits being continuously updated after they've been sold. So this is what you get for this price in this kit. And if you want to purchase other kits down the track, you can, but this is what you get for that. There's an expectation if we start updating the kits and adding things to them. Now, if something's factually incorrect, like if suddenly they don't go to a particular city anymore, or a city changes name, of course we'll go in and we'll adjust it. That's not a problem. But we don't want to add more content to it because it's just not a good business model to have there. It's not a good revenue choice either for us, to be fully transparent. Okay, Angela says, best moment, knowing Amma is the best product, selling 10 cabins can be a game changer. Oh, yes. Some of you already know, and you don't have to share because it's personal, I know, but some of you know what selling a group can do, especially when you add on the land tours. I love this, Bianca. Bianca said, this was mind-blowing. I can't believe how much I am missing by not yet selling river cruising. I would love to do a group of 10 cabins. I think the biggest hurdle, Bianca, is your own mindset with river cruising. I was convinced that I would hate river cruising because it would be boring and full of old people. And then I took my first river cruise and I said we were in bed every night, like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm not one to go and hang out at the bar, and I just really like my own space. I'm a bit of an introvert that way. And so I would eat dinner, and then I would walk through and be like, bye, everybody. And I would go straight back to my cabin. And I remember climbing into bed on the first night, second night, third night, fourth night. And I remember saying to Anthony, gosh, I feel so relaxed. When we got back, I was so relaxed. I always get back from a vacation feeling like I need another vacation, and river cruising gave me the opposite. And depending on the itinerary, I love the ability just to be able to walk into port in Europe. I think that's super cool. I cannot imagine ever doing Egypt any other way than a river cruise. One of my mother's girlfriends was telling her that she's doing Egypt on her own, like just her and her husband. They're just going to arrive. They just like the feeling of being able to do what they want to do when they want to do it. And my mom was asking me about it, and I was like, that is the worst idea ever. And she was like, well, Betty's very well, I don't know what her name is. I think it was Betty. Betty's really well traveled. She's been traveling longer than you've been alive. And I'm thinking, okay, good luck, Betty. I would never do it. 93 countries down, and I would never do it. I would never go to Egypt and just fly by the seat of my pants. I'll do that in Paris. I'll do that in London. I'll do that in Asia. But Egypt is not the place to do it. So, yeah. You guys are saying, yes, the video would be helpful. Okay, great. I've had a joint venture goal for an Egypt trip, so this just made it to the top of my to-do list. I mean, let me put it to you this way, everybody, and we're going to wrap it up because we went about 30 minutes over, but you know I have a tendency. Let me put it this way. Could you do the math on your calculator right now or on your phone? Pull out your phone and do the math that if you were to make $26,000 on a group of 10, and that is low-key the minimum. You should probably be walking away with 30 plus on a group of 10, especially when you start adding insurance and land tours. When you do the math, how many of those groups would you have to, if you did 3 groups of 10 a year, is that more than what you're making right now in commissions? Or is that comfortable for you to make 100K in commission? Because I have to say, there's a reason. Like, someone asked me, did you and Anthony start a travel agency? Are you booking clients? No, I don't want to start a travel agency. I just want to do my 1 or 2 group trips every year. That's all I want to do. When people come to me and ask me, hey, can you also book this for us, or can you do our flights? The answer is no, we don't book any travel. We're offering you the opportunity to book onto our trip that we are hosting, but we are not booking travel. We are not selling travel. We are not out there trying to be travel advisors. I've already had that career in my lifetime. It's a wonderful career, but it's not what I want for myself now. I can't manage it. I have a small child and too many other elements to my career. But I have to say that if you do the math on these trips, on these groups of 10 cabins, these groups of 12 cabins, 15 cabins, you really could make a very, very, very honorable and decent living, 100K a year in commission. Not, people talk about having $1 million sales. Sales don't mean anything. It's the commission just from doing these groups. So you have to ask yourself, what are you hustling to get right now? Because I'm not saying stop selling ocean cruises or FIT or anything like that, because you love doing that and that's why you do it. But really think about how much this is a game changer financially for you, and then decide, where does this need to be in my priority list? Okay. Okay, here's a good question. I may have missed this. New agents, how long should you expect to campaign each trip? Oh, that's a good question. I actually don't know how to answer that. I think that it's about knowing, well, firstly, if it's a charter, you want to have a decent email list first. And you want to do that a year out, a year to 18 months out. You want to start doing that. We are starting for June, and we're literally going to open sales probably next week. I would say that we'll probably open sales. We should have opened already. We moved house and I didn't have time. Like, I'm human. I just dropped the ball. We should have started selling right when we got back. We didn't, because when I say selling, open up bookings, I was ready to see us start filling the ship. But because my experience changed how I wanted to market, we started from scratch. That's what happened there, that we haven't started. But I would say 12 to 18 months for a charter or a really big group. But individual bookings, you just start marketing now and start trying to get those individual bookings. Do you know what I would do? If you've got clients from ocean cruises, from FIT, for resort bookings, I would literally, and I know that most of you won't do this. I don't know if any of you will do this. I kind of almost would bet $100 that none of you will do this. I would do this. It's really hard though. You ready? I would export an Excel list of all the people who I've ever booked, and I would pick up the phone and I would say, hey, how you doing? It's been a minute since we spoke. Haven't spoken to you since you did XYZ trip. If you have any trips coming up in the next 12 months, let me know. I'd love the opportunity to work with you again. And I just wanted to put it out there. I don't know, is Egypt on your travel bucket list? Is Egypt somewhere that you've ever thought to yourself, I would like to go to see the pyramids? I would like to go on the Nile River? Because we have, in the beginning stages, a plan for a group to go to Egypt in about 12 to 18 months. And then shut up, close your mouth and just let them answer. Because what will come out of their mouth is, oh, yeah, no, probably not something we'd be interested in. Or, oh, I would love to know about that. I would love to know about that. Right? I put up 3 posts when I was in Egypt. I don't post a lot on social, but I put up 3 posts on Instagram on my personal. And I just wrote, hit me a DM if you want to come. Anthony and I are going to host a trip next year. That's all I wrote. Holy moly, the DMs we got from friends, strangers. I've been watching you on TV for years. Or, hey, I'm a producer over in Chicago and I follow you on social. I saw your thing. I would love to go, my husband and I. If you would be willing to pick up the phone, I know that you would get groups, especially if you've been doing this for a few years. I just don't think that a lot of people will, because it takes a confidence. Get a glass of wine or something if you need help. Shantha's best moment, receiving the landing pages for Egypt. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The landing page is gorgeous. I can't show it to you right now, but I'll show it to you in the preview of the stuff that we're giving you all. Oh my gosh, where to now travel? Been there 6 times. Holy moly. Okay, just looking to see if we've got any questions in there. Lots of best moments. Question, who would be a good partner for Egypt? Shantha, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Where can I get the Danube marketing kit? I just created a group for that. Email us. I don't know if it's on our website right now. Angie's taking away the failing to plan is planning to fail. My dad used to tell me that all the time. I hated it. I might have missed this, but is Egypt kit ready now, or is this a pre-sale? It's not ready now. It'll be a couple of weeks, because today we just got ideas on more things that we can put in it for you. It's probably going to be about 3 weeks away from being ready, but it'll go on pre-sale today. What are your thoughts of going live on social media to promote a river cruise? I would do pre-recorded video and email that out to your list instead of going live. I would do that. Do you or will you offer training in how to conduct a video testimonial interview and what to do with the content? I'll talk to Anthony about it. I don't do them. He does them for us. Yeah, Michelle, that's the best comment I've seen you make in all the many years. Doing Egypt on your own would be a ridiculous idea, and yet there were people there trying to do it. Oh, thank you, Sandra. These are all nice things. If you can't speak Arabic, you're going to be in trouble in Egypt. Yeah, it is. Okay. Are you doing your charter next June 25? Yes, I am. And somebody sent me a DM while we're on this. We are not allowing travel advisors on our charter. I'm sorry. These are for our friends, family, and fans. And we don't have advisor rates, and Amma's not giving advisor rates on our charter. When you do your own charter, you'll realize that you don't want to have fam rates on there for other travel advisors, because it puts you at risk. Imagine if 15 of our cabins sold out with you guys. It would put us at huge risk of not being able to hit the operating cost of the charter. Okay, just looking for questions. Someone to promote your group. No, we're doing all the promotion for. Oh, I see what you mean in terms of the person or the brand that you partner with, and we go into this more in the kit, but the person or the brand that you partner with has to have people who can afford to do it and who would be interested in it. But they don't have to have anything to do with travel. In fact, better not, right? So if there's a really high-end restaurant and you know the restaurant owners, it could be something like that. If there is a private school and you can advertise in their newsletter, it could be that. We're doing elementary school shopping right now. This will make you fall off the floor. Now you'll know why I have to do a charter. We're doing elementary school shopping right now because Houston starts elementary school next fall. And the 5 schools that we've shortlisted are all starting at $36,000 to $55,000 a year, because that's what private school is out here. So anyone who's sending their kid to a school like that can afford to go to Egypt. Then I looked around, we're just going to scrape in. We'll scrape it together somehow. I don't know. Then I looked, it's one of the reasons we sell houses. We buy and sell houses just for school fees. Then I looked, and there's people who've got like 3, 4, 5 kids at the one school. Those are the people who can afford it. So start thinking, where are the people with money? What are they connected to? Okay. It could be, I actually want to look, the suburb that we are building our new house in is an extremely affluent suburb. It's probably top 10 affluent suburbs in Los Angeles County. I was thinking of doing the old school letterbox, the old school marketing directly into there. So I'm going to do some research on how much that would cost me, just using Vistaprint or something, to get flyers done with a QR code that they would scan it would open a video of me saying, hi, I'm your neighbor. Yeah, I literally live in this area. And I'm also a TV host. You might have seen me on the news. You might have done this. I would love to show you something that we have really cool that you and our neighbors are invited to. And this is it. That's actually one of my strongest strategies that I have listed out that I want to look at for my group. Robin said, don't be sorry, this is your trip. Will you come out with a Rhine kit? Yes, I will eventually, because I've sailed the Rhine enough to know it now. What I will say is, in the meantime, there's a free kit on AMA Waterways Travel Advisor portal. It's the Rhine and the Danube together. I made that. AMA paid me to make that. And there's another one for groups. Everybody go download both of those. Direct marketing, yeah, that mailbox direct marketing is relatively inexpensive. Okay, will this video be available after? I need to relook at many tidbits you shared. Yes, we're going to keep this up until July 30th, actually. We said only 14 days, so we're going to keep it up until July 30th. Okay, all right, I got to go. I got to get my Egypt stuff together. I feel really behind, and I feel like there's a lot to do and I haven't done it, but I'm just going to sit down with my plan, and I'm going to call now and find out about the advertising into the mailboxes, and hopefully that will get me direct marketing. Absolutely works. Not many people are doing it. Yeah, it is literally top of my list, the direct marketing, because I just know that if you live in this suburb that we've just built a house in, there's not a house under $1 million. There's not. And I just have a really good feeling. And I can't go around and do that by myself. I used to deliver newspapers when I was a kid. My parents made me do it. It was like one of my first jobs. You can't do that in California. I don't know if they have this in other states, but here we have communal mailboxes. So you just walk down the street and it's like 30 different houses all together. And it's really cool because when the postal employee comes along, they just open up the big door and put everyone's mail in and close it. But it's safer for them because they don't have to deal with dogs and individual people's things. So yeah. Okay, so let me just double check with my team. One thing, don't go anywhere. Margie, can you tell me if you're watching, or Flora? I'm just going to check Slack. Can you tell me if there is a notification form on the Flora? Is there a notification form on the website in a weekend page? I'm just going to go there real quick and show you guys where that is. And if there's not a notification form on there, we'll get one up. I know Margie built one. I just don't know if we've embedded it yet. We'll get it up before the end of the day. So here is the link. I'm just going to pop it in here for website in a weekend. If there's enough people, I'll run another one, and I'll run it really soon. It's just that it requires an entire week of my team and to prep for it. It's a huge amount of work for us, but if there's enough people, it's worth it. I don't know if we have it. Hold on. Self-paced. There is a self-paced option, but it's not as easy. If you did website in a weekend and your website is not launched yet, please email us and tell us where you're stuck so we can help you. Okay, we don't have a form on there now, but we'll put one on there so that you guys can get notified. We'll do that today. Okay. Alrighty. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. It's been awesome. See you later. Keep an eye on your mailbox for the how do we get that landing page info dropped. It'll be for the marketing kit only. Just to be clear, it's only the marketing kit, the people that will have the opportunity to have that landing page dropped into their website. It's one of the highest pieces of value in the marketing kit. But we will let you know. All right. Bye for now, everybody.